Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. Money and I cause war. Bitcoin turns love and peace into money. I tell them that's because it's not seized. So you can't get my Bitcoin no matter how hard you try to force me or how violent you are. You need to try something new when you talk to me. You need to give me something I want in return for my Bitcoin without making a fuss. Bitcoin takes away the money value of violence and war. Here is a short piece from Max Kaiser. Go ahead and check us out at Bitcoin Bubble on our Twitter before we start. Our link tree too. You can look at everything. Bitcoin Bubble is the official website for our Bitcoin Bubble Roundtable Patreon page. If you want to learn something, we have ebooks and crash classes for all of our socials again. Check us out at Bitcoin. A lot of people are happy because MicroStrategy has had a short rally in the last 24 hours. The way people feel is changing. From August to now, you can see that we've gone from a low point near 100 to a test of 100, back up 44%, and then back down. Keep in mind that the stock split, so this is really $1,000 per share. It will then rise again to $150, which is almost $1,500 at this point. In fact, it's now back above the bull market support band, which means that people's views are changing. Rikus has something to say about Bitcoin. Since September 2023, this chart shows that Bitcoin has been moving upwards compared to the US dollar. This pattern keeps repeating itself, and we were in an oversold area. Now we're back to where we started, from around 25,000 to 73,000 to 74,000 before it stopped going up, and look, we just reset. That's 73 and 74, which is about a 3x. The number we'll reach if we keep going like that is out of this world. How high? Take a look at the Bitcoin price graph. The question is, what will happen if we touch this upper bound? Rick has seen this upper bound touched here and here. How soon can we touch this if we come up? This will bring us to about 150,260,000 by January 1st, 2025, if we make it. You can see that this hyperbolic move could be much bigger if it takes longer. Now, remember a lot of things. By the end of the year 2026, we'll have almost $400,000 worth of Bitcoin. Right now, look at this technical goal from this inverse head and shoulders pattern or this inverse cup and handle pattern. This is the neckline. Up to about 310,000, this is the technical goal. When could we hit this if we move it to the right? We'll reach this level around September 2025. A lot of people want them to blow off the top and start the year strong next year. Is that what's going to happen? Allow time to pass. The price will go up though, the longer it takes. You can ask Willy Woo to do some math. As a rough guess, how much money does Bitcoin need to reach $1 million? The number is $5 trillion, which is about 1% of all the world's wealth. Now that we look back, this money isn't that much. The total value of the cryptocurrency market is just over $2 trillion. It could be $2, $2 or $2, $3 trillion, but don't take my word for it. 620 billion is already in, but it's still early. A new message from El Crypto Professor. Look at the 2020 pandemic crash and the 2024 Japan stock market crash. It looks almost the same. You got these wedges that are growing and widening. These patterns are standard when you enter them in a positive way and see these wedges getting bigger and bigger. This is good news for bulls. You can expect things to keep going up. In 2020, Bitcoin did the same thing. Rinse and repeat. In 2024, we'll do the same thing. Prepare to fasten your car belts because a blast-off is about to happen. One more report from Rikus. Watch these factors carefully. You don't want to miss the next big moves. If you look back at the years 2013 to 2018, you can see a peak, then an extension, then a rally to the upside, then a bear market, then another peak, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So where are we now? We're about where we were in early 2017 when the price of Bitcoin was less than $1,000. It went up to $20,000 before going through a bear market and continuing to a higher level. Will we see another bear market after this peak? People are saying that Bitcoin will reach $1 million. Don't let fear of missing out, and don't follow the crowd. Let's hear from an expert about where they think Bitcoin is going and what they see. Cathie Wood is going to say what she thinks. Let Cathie say what she wants to say. We're now in print. Our base case is $650,000, but we set that before the SEC accepted the Bitcoin ETFs. So we are now even more sure that our wild guess of 1.5 million by 2030 is the most likely outcome. Do you think Bitcoin is a singularity right now, or do you think it will be one day? When do you think that will happen? In terms of Bitcoin, what do you mean when you say singularity? At some point, you can't hold it back. I believe we are no longer able to run. Bitcoin can't be stopped. And China tried, but everything that was going on in China just moved elsewhere. There is no supervision. You can't choke on it. It's become so popular and plays such an important role, especially in developing markets where leaders of many countries either don't understand economics or are corrupt. In a very short time, they lose 50% of their cash and ability to buy things. Even this year, Egypt took 40% off the value of the Egyptian pound. I think it was at the start of March. In developing economies, it's very helpful to have a safety net like Bitcoin. It's not even that Bitcoin could go nowhere, it's that it will 20x in 5 years. Okay, you've seen that the changes are rough because it's so early and the kids are so young. It used to be 95% of the time. They're now closer to 75%. That's a lot. People shouldn't think it's straight up and to the right because the changes are pretty rough. They're not as bad anymore. And I think the volatility will go down a lot as more people start buying in Bitcoin. That's not to say we don't think it will go down, it's going to. There is a new type of product. I would say that a lot of the leaders are weak. They go because they don't want to miss out FOMO. Then they lose 20% and quit. It looks like they gave up. That gets worse and moves down. When it comes to safety, Bitcoin is the best cryptocurrency or crypto asset because it is backed by the world's biggest computer network. No one has hacked it. No one has hacked into the base layer. I don't believe any other cryptocurrency can say that. So, this is kind of like a big neighborhood watch. There are many people whose jobs depend on Bitcoin, starting with the miners in the Bitcoin environment.